Roy and Christina. Our next panel is an introduction to mobile payments. It'll be moderated by Rajeev Chand, Managing Director of Research for Rutberg. Please welcome Rajeev.
Thank you.
So Mark, let me start off with kind of a broad question. PayPal is now saying it's a mobile-first company. A lot of companies are saying they're mobile-first. Let me help you out, yeah. What does being a mobile-first company mean for PayPal?
For PayPal, well, for us, it was an effort that we underwent to totally revamp the way we think about new product design. And it was instructive to make the transformation for PayPal from an e-commerce company that was founded in the early part of the last decade, to a mobile company where the fundamental design philosophy has changed because of devices, size of the screen, the way people use it. We've had to really go and look at every single aspect of how people use our service and how they will use our service. And being mobile first to us meant not thinking about mobile as, oh, and I also have to design a mobile extension for this, or what will the mobile part of this look like? It means literally starting with the mobile as the lowest common denominator of what you're designing for, and then moving from there.
So your engineers, your BD teams, your strategy teams are thinking mobile first before they even think about the web or the desktop or what have you.
That's true. I mean, it started as a design mantra, right? But it has quickly moved into my business development teams are all thinking about how do they create partnerships around mobile. Our sales teams that are selling to merchants in all of the regions across the world are thinking about how do they approach merchants with a mobile value proposition. So yeah, pretty fundamentally, the company is a mobile payments, mobile first company.
So the metrics are amazing.
Yeah.
20 billion, this is for PayPal, 20 billion of the 145 billion in mobile. I think Don Ho said in the last earnings call, or one of them, that 1 out of every 4 PayPal users has done a mobile transaction in the last year, so 25% on a, if you would, a yearly active user basis. As you've looked at the mobile metrics, what's been the biggest surprise to you for PayPal?
Well, I'll tell you what's surprising is that I don't really look at mobile metrics that much anymore. We used to obsess about it. We used to have conferences about whether or not this is cannibalization to our core business, and whether or not we got better CLV because somebody was using mobile. Well, we still look at that, and that's certainly become a core metric in the business. I think what's amazing to me is how much that debate has passed, and how it's really embedded in all of our strategy. Right, we're doing 20 billion in mobile business today, and that number, you know, the slope that growth is on is pretty astronomical. So,
when does mobile become greater than 50%?
You know,
if it's mobile first, you'd expect to be mobile primarily, and so when does mobile become greater than 50%?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't know, but I'll tell you an interesting thing about the consumer aspect of mobile that we've encountered is that as we went in to talk to the customers about how they like to use our service, be it eBay or PayPal, we would ask questions about what device they were on and how they used which particular device to make which particular transaction. And these were very engaged customers of eBay, PayPal. And the responses we kept getting back were that they were very unsure about where they made these transactions, where they started to do the research, where they actually, you know, maybe bid on an auction, where they put something in a shopping cart, where did they pull the trigger and ultimately buy it. And that was fascinating because that told you consumers weren't obsessing over it. They were just expecting that the experience they get on any screen is going to, A, remember who they are, right? Remember that this is who I am and this is what I was looking for. And B, be able to do this, use the same functionality on that screen no matter where they were.
So it's almost as if the customers and even the industry is beyond mobile first, where mobile is implicit and doesn't matter, and it's a bunch of interconnected screens rather than even mobile first, if you would. We're looking beyond mobile first.
We are looking beyond mobile first. You and I were talking about sort of where this is going, and the other answer I think I gave to you about what surprises me is how much time I'm spending on the post-mobile phase that's coming. The ability for devices to interact with the internet and interact with the consumer, either ones that they're wearing or ones that are in the shopping environment, ones that are monitoring traffic or monitors in our car, and how that will affect consumer experiences for things like payment and shopping.
Yeah, the payment mechanism, as you mentioned to me before, could be on your health device.
Yeah, I'm trying to drop a few pounds here, so I've got the up from Jamba. It's been fascinating. But they just announced recently that they're opening up this platform for developers to do, and here's a device that gets connected to the internet and gets a perfect sensor of where you are and what you are doing, and could it be a way that you get into TiEcon next year? Could it be a way you get into a movie? Very fascinating. So
sticking to kind of the concept of connected devices and wearables, Facebook announced an integration with Google Glass. I think it was this week at I/O. Are we going to see PayPal integrated with Google Glass?
Maybe. I think that the platform that represents is part of the same theme, which is we are moving beyond just. We went from having desktops to having laptops to having mobile phones that serve functions that in our lives that are useful, and now we're in a phase where these devices are moving beyond us interacting with them and them actually interacting with us and being able to predict where we're going to be, what we might want to do next, and wearing those and integrating those is a.
Are you bullish on glass?
What I'm bullish on is we were with a design team at MIT that looks at the future of retailing and things like that. And they were asking us what we contend with, and a lot of what we talk about in payment is the challenge is changing customer behavior. That's the way we say it. So everybody has a wallet right now, and you've got a couple credit cards in there, and when you're confronted with a payment opportunity or a need, you're instinctively reaching for the wallet, pulling out a piece of plastic and swiping it against a magstripe reader. That is typical. Or you're pulling cash and making these payments. And what we say, how do we get people to say that your mobile phone could add value to that transaction and work with them on that? And they said, actually, the way we think about designing experiences is not getting the consumer to change behavior, to actually fit technology into their lives in such a way that it makes what they want to do anyway natural. And I think that's where glass fits in a bit, right? Where it's unnatural to pick up a thing and start recording our conversation. It's more natural just to look and think and have it be recorded. And that's fascinating.
Glass for a shopper could be extremely automated. I mean, the whole checkout and transaction, it could be extremely automated. Glass, just as you're taking items off of let's say a shopping cart or aisle, putting it into your cart. It could literally be doing the transaction just while you're watching it. Put in there yourself.
Any place where there is these common elements, a consumer that has a device that is a sensor and is connected to the internet, interacting with another element like a smart shelf that gives nutritional information, or a point of sale terminal that already identifies who you are. If you can ascertain identity, if you can ascertain the consumer's profile, and you can anticipate what they might want to do, very, very powerful. And in every single sector of our lives, we're seeing that change by the internet and devices.
Let's jump to probably a more near-term topic. Probably the most difficult question that I've gotten for PayPal in my research is, can PayPal really become successful in offline? And obviously PayPal has got the Discover relationship, the NCR relationship, I think something like, 20,000 stores already, going to 2 million, I guess Donahoe said. And one of the stores is Home Depot. And I'll tell you just on an anecdotal basis, when my wife tells me to go there, which is about every 2 weeks, I ask the clerk behind the checkout aisle, is anybody using this? PayPal, it shows up on the point of sale terminal. and every one of them to their name just sort of shrugs and like, I don't know, not really. And so how's it going? I mean, I understand there's lots of retail outlets, but are consumers really using it? And are you solving a real pain point?
I think that's a very, very good question, and one that pretty much forms the basis of all of the investment that we're making in understanding how this technology and how our capabilities can solve a problem for consumers. And yes, we are finding some very interesting facts. So the Home Depot example you gave, it's an experiment on a multi-lane point of sale environment where you might have customers with a lot of stuff in their hands, forgetting their wallet, not being able to, I forgot this one part that I need to finish the project, runs out there, does not have what they need to complete the sale and gets frustrated. And if you can make that transaction with just the information that's in your head, like a mobile number and a PIN, and that works, when you experience that, it is a paradigm shift for you. You want to do that everywhere. So what we've learned is that those experiences are value add to a consumer's life. Another one we found is ordering ahead, waiting in line for, a Jamba Juice. These are decisions that consumers make based on the time they have in their day. And if you've got a break from your job and it's going to be 25 minutes, and 10 or 15 of those are going to be waiting in line, the merchant's going to lose that sale. But if you could interact with them in advance and let them get what they want while they're coming to you, we've seen, and we've done actually in Barcelona when we were in together at World Congress, we had mobile check-in happening at the Barcelona, at the food stops there. And I don't know if you guys, many of you have probably been there, but you get like an hour to eat or 45 minutes to eat and you have to be back to your booth. We were doing advanced ordering. We tripled the amount of food and drink that they put through those vendors because you can do order ahead. So we're connecting these tipping point, what I call tipping point experiences that will get people to use mobile connected devices or devices in their lives to do payment and commerce.
So I get kind of the examples. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, the metrics to date. If you look at, let's take probably the most successful example here, Starbucks. Starbucks launched beginning of 2011. They just said less than 3 years later, 10% of their U.S. tender is using, there's some unique things about Starbucks that makes that there. But
chemical addiction to caffeine being one of them, right?
That's right. But and they said 3 million mobile transactions a week now going through Starbucks.
That's amazing.
So, my anecdotal evidence would say that Home Depot, plus maybe I'd even argue every other PayPal retailer out there, is nowhere near where maybe even Starbucks is as an individual retailer.
I probably agree with that, and we haven't figured out everything in terms of putting a complete consumer value proposition together that will get those types of numbers. But we've seen enough in our daily testing and the testing we've done over this year, and we've set up a variety of pilots that we're continuing to do that make us confident that this is going to vastly transform our industry, the retail industry, in the coming years. So it depends on what time frame you're looking at, but we're bullish that the track we're on will put us in a great position to be a leader in mobile wallet, cloud-based wallets, allowing you to interact with your money anytime, anywhere you want to be in a more convenient way than you could do today.
I would say that, you're absolutely set up for that. The retail footprint is amazing. The retail penetration is amazing. Let me jump to my last topic before they give me the heave-ho here, is Square.
Yeah. Square. Yeah.
Who are they? Square. Yeah. Square's a little company. $15 billion in mobile POS payments in terms of an annualized run rate. Can PayPal even come close to catching up to Square?
I give Square a lot of credit for recognizing that the mobile phone is something that is ubiquitous in the hands of small business owners. That the cost and the value of connecting to the payment system, if you're a small vendor, was high, and putting that together in a way that is disruptive, and I think permanently so. And you're seeing the impact of that. Can we keep up? I would say that...
Can you catch up?
Can you catch them? I think people mistake the metric. So we do well over $125 billion in payment volume globally. And sometimes we hear reported that these point of sale readers do X billion in volume. But what's very valuable going forward is actually having a relationship with a merchant and a relationship with a consumer. So every single relationship in our $145 billion is a relationship where a consumer has a branded relationship with PayPal and a merchant has a branded relationship with PayPal where we're settling to them. So that's a hard model to duplicate. And
that's actually a super interesting question. What percentage of Square is two-sided versus one-sided? That's a very good question.
That'd be a good question to ask them.
Yeah.
And so we focus on creating value between merchant and consumer. If swiping a card is part of that, that's fine, but we also, the majority of our volume is as I described, and that's the type of change we're looking for. So we have actually partnered with a lot of very interesting companies that are changing point of sale. You mentioned NCR, Micros, a number of startups, Erply, Shopkeep, Vend. All of these guys are focused on opening up what is now sort of a not very value-add experience for small businesses and fairly rote experience for consumers, and making that value-add. And so we're 100% behind the transformation that's happening there.
Well, Mark and PayPal, congratulations on Mobile First. We've covered a lot of ground in these 15 minutes, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.